So while we are starting, I mean, again, last call to like, any questions which was not answered last time. Is it making sense? See, this is not supposed to be a monologue. Matlab, we are discussing basics of spirituality, or any question you have there. Okay, I'm more than happy to answer that. It could be anything, whatever you can think of. ठीक है, मतलब जो भी आज तक सुनना पड़ा है और समझ में नहीं आया, any of that can be talked about. Okay, fine. So the assumption is everything is understood. तो हम आगे चलते हैं फिर. We'll see. ठीक है. Yes, अनु कहते हैं.
Okay, hi. I don't know if this question is apt or not right now to ask, but एक क्वेश्चन मेरे फ्रेंड ने मुझसे पूछा कि अगर सारे सोल्स इक्वल हैं तो व्हाट अबाउट क्रिमिनल्स? तो क्या मतलब उनके भी सोल प्योर है?
Yes.
तो फिर वो क्रिमिनल क्यों होते हैं? क्योंकि सोल तो फिर आपको हमेशा सही चीज गाइड करता है. देन व्हाई आर दे क्रिमिनल्स?
नहीं, सोल सही चीज गाइड करता है ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. सोल इज हियर बिकॉज ऑफ द डिजायर्स. ठीक है, एंड वी हैव अ डिजायर टू एंजॉय.
ओके.
कभी हम अच्छे आदमी बन के एंजॉय करने की कोशिश करते हैं, कभी क्रिमिनल बन के एंजॉय करने की कोशिश करते हैं. सो वी कीप ऑन ट्राइंग टू एंजॉय इन अ डिफरेंट वे इन डिफरेंट लाइव्स.
तो मतलब लोगों के डिजायर्स ऐसे भी हो सकते हैं कि मतलब वो क्राइम करे.
हाँ, why not? I mean, have you not seen school teacher जिन्हें बच्चों को पिटाई करने में मजा आता है, right? So in 13th chapter, Krishna described this interestingly. So he says कि basically पुरुष and प्रकृति ये दो चीजें होती हैं. मतलब there is in short, in layman terms, basically there is a soul who wants to enjoy and who want to lord over this material nature कि मुझे enjoy करना है. And that is, with that thinking, he always try to हावी होने को करता है. Like, he is always trying to dominate over the nature, material nature. You must be seeing, right, things like people who are actually more money, more power, more resources, more houses, more car, right? We are all trying to enjoy more, right? But the unfortunate thing is, while doing that, this soul ends up identifying with the body. The soul starts thinking, oh, I am getting old, I am having this pain, I am suffering, and things like that. So all that happened by identifying with the body. Okay, the soul is supposed to be really knower, the soul is supposed to be pure, but with this identification, the soul gets into trouble, because this suffering and pain and miseries, all of this gets generated by the soul itself. Okay, but soul is totally different from the body. It is not matter, it is spirit, is what we understood. So what it means is that soul actually doesn't suffer. It is just the mind who's experiencing the pain, but not the soul. But anyways, all that discussion aside, bottom line is that soul has that desire, and different desires we all have, by the way, and we all keep on trying to enjoy in different ways. Sometimes as dog, sometimes as cat, sometimes as cow, and things like that. All of that is based on our desires. Nothing else. There is nothing else here. Okay.
तो मतलब सोल में डिजायर डेवलप कैसे होती है?
Yeah, that's a deeper question. Basically, see, we actually, as a soul, we enjoy when we are with God, but we actually at one point we started feeling that, oh, I want to enjoy independently from God. Okay, oh, why can't I enjoy? Why only God enjoys? But we are designed as soul such that we get pleasure when we give pleasure to God. But when this happens and we want to enjoy separately, we are given this material world, this material nature. Go and enjoy the material nature, and we were trying to enjoy that. This is the word of scriptures. Life after life.
ये जो आप बता रहे इसके लिए, तो ये जो आप बता रहे कि मतलब पहले मतलब सोल जो है वो भगवान से जुड़ा हुआ था तो वो enjoy कर रहा था, but now that soul has detached itself from God, now it wanted to enjoy alone. तो ये सारी चीजों का मतलब आपके पास कोई scientific वो है, कुछ है like evidence या मतलब?
Yes. There are scientific evidences.
Okay.
I can discuss that. Okay.
Okay.
Let us do one thing. Let us discuss this topic after this class, because this is a long discussion, right? To discuss all the scientific evidence. In fact, there is a session specifically on this, okay, where we will be discussing all of this. What is material world? What is spiritual world? What is soul? Where it came from? What is it supposed to do? And things like that. Okay. I can talk from scriptures. I can talk from science. I can quote the verses. Whatever you want. All is fine. So, but the bottom line is let's take it up after this, right? So let us get started to the current session. Okay. And by the way, for the people who came, this session started actually before the second wave. Okay, just to give and there was one session which we did in person at that time, and then the second wave struck and we stopped all of it. So this session is actually that one session which we discussed in person. Okay, but for the people who actually attended that one session, I will anyways add more spices, and I will anyways make it shorter so that we finish it. But for the people who are new, like Srivaliji, I think you must have heard this session, a bit of it, not completely.
Which session, Guruji?
The first session of the Discover Yourself, which we attended in person.
No, I'm just following through the second session, and this is the third session.
Yeah. Now it is called second session, but it was first session at that time before the second wave. Okay. When we okay. So it will be a revision, because I know it's been months, and it sounds like a previous birth. The second wave was not very good for most of the people. So, but anyways, let us talk about it. So, okay, the idea is we will try to find the footprints of God in this world. Okay, that is the whole idea. Let me get started. I think it's been 12 minutes past the whole thing. So let us see. So the thinking is like, this is what we will talk about, and when we talk about it, we'll talk about it. So let's go further. Yeah. So the thinking is, the question that people ask generally is, can you show me God? Right. Now, if I say, can you show me Narendra Modi? Right. It's the same argument. The point is that we are not qualified to see Narendra Modi. The day when we become qualified to see him, we'll be able to see him. Right. So we don't see electron, we don't see black holes, we don't see so many things. But we can see that, oh, electricity is flowing. It means we can see the effect of electron being there. Right. Similarly, we'll try to see the effect of God being here. Okay. And we'll talk in science for sure. Right. And there is a lot of science in this session, so people like Atikesh, maybe they would enjoy it. But nonetheless, if you don't know any physics or chemistry theories, it's okay. Yes, you attended, I think. Yeah. So it's okay. Don't worry. The intention is to get the point, but not get into science. I mean, I can explain that science offline if you want. But anyways, so the idea is, by observing the systematic universe around us, we will try to answer this question: does God really exist? Because people ask this question, right? Oh, if Big Bang is the reason why universe was created, then why do we need God? Right? There's no need for having somebody like God, right? And this question comes to our mind, right? Who creates and maintains this universe? Somebody said a quote, right? Either God exists or he doesn't exist. Both of these possibilities are frightening. Why? Because if he doesn't exist, then we don't know who's in control. I mean, anything can happen. This world can end anytime, right? Yesterday, I think, or today maybe, twice the size of Taj Mahal or something they were saying, that big asteroid passed near Earth, right? Could have collided. So if the God doesn't exist, it's a frightening possibility. And if the God exists, even that is frightening, because then we don't know what God wants from us. And we better be aware, right? Because if God is somebody who's so powerful, who's maintaining this entire universe, probably, and and we are doing something without knowing about him, then probably it's a risky proposition. So anyways, we'll try to see what it is all about. So first thing, let's observe around us and see, does God really exist? So when you see these paintings, right? Anybody knows who's the painter for any of these? The first one, I think, should be known.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The second one? No. Okay. Yeah. The first one is easy. But these are all famous scientists, right? Famous painters. Van Gogh, Thomas Sanchez, Henry Rochau. All of them are pretty famous ones. And they are beautiful paintings. And we know who are the artists, right? But if I ask you the same question, right? I mean, see, this is the real version. And this is definitely more beautiful than the paintings. The question is, who are the painters? Who are the artists? Who are the people who is the person who created this, right? We don't know, right? So but that is not right. I mean, somebody has to create it, right? The painting, if painting was created by an artist and the painting was supposed to be so great, then this is the real one. And who's the artist, right? See, there is just to make this artificial flower, you need so many things. You need paper, you need glue, you need scissors, and so many things, right? And an intelligent person who can create the flower out of it. But the real one, the real flower, we think it just came by chance. Okay. If I tell you, like in this world, there are like, some 80,000 types of flowers. Okay. And all of them are different in shape, sizes, fragrance, and so many things. And it's amazing that we don't wonder about it. We have started taking this whole thing as granted, really, because it's as if our parents as granted, right? Or they are supposed to feed us, they are supposed to send us to school and things like that. And that's how we think. Oh, somebody's supposed to give us these flowers, somebody's supposed to give us these fruits, but we don't understand the purpose, and we don't understand who actually made these flowers. Because it has to be a amazing artist who's supposed to do all of this, right? So yeah, we don't wonder ever that who made so many beautiful flowers. So the point I am trying to make here is that any art, it needs an artist, right? And similarly, the world around us is very beautiful, and there is so many great things around us, right? So the point is, who created them? There has to be an artist behind an art. The art doesn't exist without any artist. Okay, so any art implies that there is an artist. Any questions? Any point you don't agree with me? Feel free to stop me. If you think no, there is a scientific explanation which doesn't matches with this logic, let me know. I'm happy to explain more. Okay. Otherwise, as I said, I can go a bit fast because just to avoid a lot of technicality. Now, look at these honeybees, right? They have, yes, go ahead.
You know what? But I'm not convinced. I mean,
okay.
ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है ना कि मतलब नेचर ने ये सब किया, द बिग बैंग थिंग एक्चुअली हैपेंड. फिर क्वेश्चन आता है, फिर यूनिवर्स कैसे आया, यूनिवर्स के मतलब इतने सारे प्लैनेट्स, इतने सारे डिफरेंट सोलर सिस्टम्स कैसे हैं, देन नेबुला, ब्लैक होल, ऑल दोस स्टफ, ये सब कहाँ से आया? तो मे बी ये सब हमेशा से था, मे बी.
Science doesn't agree with that, by the way. Just to tell you that it was always there. Okay, just a scientific. So far, what science knows, but science doesn't know a lot of things. So I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I've spent most of my life reading about these nebulas, black holes, and things like that, neutron stars, and all. Like they're my favorite topic of interest. So this is not what science says. But another thing, I'm going to talk about Big Bang specifically in some of the subsequent slides. So hold on. But one thing I will tell you is that, have you ever seen, just use your common sense, have you ever seen a piece of art without any artist being there? Okay, so many small time thing. Even if your child makes a small sketch, you know that, oh, this child has did so wonderful, right? Made such a beautiful painting, right? There is such a beautiful world around us. We never wonder about it. By Big Bang, have you ever seen anything good coming out of an explosion? There is only destruction. I'm just talking about common sense here. Okay, and I'll talk about
You're
science
right.
also, right? Even by common sense, we know that we have never seen anything coming by chance.
Okay.
So, okay. All right. So just moving ahead, think about these honeybees, right? Honeybees are wonderful they organize themselves wonderfully, right? There is a queen bee. The queen bee has a dot, a red dot, and the honeybees, all of them serve the queen bee. Okay, and the most of the work is done by female honeybees, and they don't bear the children. Only the queen bee does it, and these other bees, they serve the honeybee like anything. They will even fan the honeycomb so that the honeycomb is cool. Okay, they will do a lot of interesting things. Okay, it's very well organized, no instructions given. They know by themselves what is the right thing to do. So we think that to do something like this, you need an MBA, you need a lot of skills to be able to do that, but that is not required here. Okay, so the point is, who's directing? I mean, who's organizing these things for them? Okay, how are they so intelligent? We think that we are the most intelligent people. We are able to organize big companies and things. These honeybees, honeycombs are like all over the place. We never wonder how do they get these organizational skills. Okay, I'll skip this video. I can share those videos offline. These are wonderful videos. Similarly for spider, right? I mean, if you think about spider actually the spider web that it builds, right? That spider web is of a very powerful material. I mean, in fact, they got inspiration to make the bulletproof vests just by studying the spider web. And the speed with which the spider builds this web is fantastic. I will share this video and you will be amazed. I mean, if we have to do it, it just builds it in a few hours or a day or something like that, right? We cannot make such complex things. It requires lot of degrees, lot of things to be able to precisely measure the things and make such a web. All these organizational thing. The point is like, who's giving this organization thing to them, right? So the point to understand is, any organization that we see around us has a organizer, right? Who's the person who's organizing this whole thing? Who's giving them the organizational skills? I mean, we study this, we just take it for granted that, oh, they are building nice webs, they are taking care of honeycomb. There is one more interesting creature. You can read about it on the internet, called beaver. Okay, so beaver builds dams. Okay, they are found in Northern America, and they build dams over water. And the reason they do it is so that they build on the other side, they build their houses. Okay, so they will bring these sticks and all that, and they will stop the flow of water, and they will build their houses, and that too not of one room. It's a 2-room house that they build. In one room, they use it to dry themselves, and in the other room, they sleep. So these are like all wonderful organizations that are created. So the point to understand is, who's giving them this skill to organize such wonderfully, right? We cannot take anything for granted, right? I mean, as a student of science, you have to question this point also. You just assume that, oh, it's okay. I mean, that's fine, but no, it's not okay, right? So any organization requires an organizer. Please feel free to stop, as I said, right? We'll talk about Big Bang, don't worry about that, but anything else. Okay, so likewise, if you see these wonderful things, right? I mean, a car is created by somebody, right? Somebody manufactured it. Similarly, these laptops, computers, gadgets, all of these watches, right? We know like what kind of effort it takes to build a skyscraper and things, right? The sculptures, all of this. But don't we think, right? You are saying, right, this wonderful creation of black holes, of neutron stars, and amazing organization of the galaxies and things. Shouldn't there be a intelligent creator for these two? How can we take this for granted? I mean, this is an open question. Just think logically, right? How is it possible? Does it make sense? Why are they organized so beautifully? Just look at this picture, and there are so many wonderful pictures you can find about the universe. I mean, I feel fascinated about this topic, as I said, right? Who's doing all of this for us? Who's that person, right? I mean, see, God created such wonderful things like male and female who can produce children, and we take it for granted. Oh, that's okay. But have you ever seen a Bajaj scooter, he scooter and a she scooter creating a baby scooter, right? You will not find that technology anywhere anytime soon, right? And we just take these things for granted like this. So we should question this also. I mean, if we really feel that we are a person of science. Okay, and feel free to question me also if you don't agree. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is that any creation means a creator has to be there. Have you ever seen anything getting created like a car or a laptop or a watch or anything which didn't had a creator? Anything requires a creator. And we are just talking logically. So this small seed, it's a very small one. It is called Sequoia seed. Okay, and this seed is, of course, as you can see, right, a few millimeters in size. But if you sow them, it comes out to be an extremely big tree. And these trees are really big. I got a chance to see them. You'll be able to see them somewhere near San Francisco. And those trees are extremely big. Just see the person sitting next to it, right? And they are the world tallest and the thickest trees. I mean, they are like 275 feet height and 95 feet in diameter, and they just come out of that small seed. Okay, and nobody questions it. It's so giant that that a truck can pass through that tree. Okay, and if you just see that by comparison, sequoia trees are way bigger than a whale or a dinosaur and things like that. They are really big. Okay, the point there is that we don't question this point that, oh, it's from a small seed such a big tree is coming from. Is it wonderful or is it not? What kind of technology is this? Who's doing all of this? This is the question to be asked. Because okay, it's okay, as I said last time also, right? Last time we discussed, for a scientist, gulab jamun is almost like a spherical in shape, in a viscous liquid, and things like that, right? They cannot appreciate this point, that who created this wonderful system, that the entire big sequoia tree can fit into a seed as small as few millimeters in size, right? So moving forward, similarly, when we see this, right, we know that, oh, it's a chip designed by Intel. But if we see the brain, people say that brain can store more information than the entire libraries that we have created. And we don't question this particular point, right? In fact, the fact says that human brain can store some 17.5 million books. Okay, so how come this brain came from? I mean, is it by chance? If not, then who made it? Okay. So all these creations, as I said, right, that any wonderful design means a designer is required. And okay, we have talked enough about different worlds. Let's talk about the micro world. And by micro world, I mean small things, right? Any questions? Anyone so far? It's not a monologue, by the way. Don't think that I'm just trying to give you something one way. Okay, I'm open to discussion for any of these. So if you see, like, a DNA as a small thing which actually contains a lot of information. In fact, people say that, information across generations passes through this DNA. There are these cells and proteins and all those things, right? If you liquid these, there are, I don't know if you have ever heard about this Bravais lattice. I don't know if do you know, anybody knows about Bravais lattice? In the school, they taught us all of this. Yeah, okay. So there are like this 16 Bravais lattice structure. Yes, correct. Our education system is the reason. 14, sorry. So all of this, it's just the precise angle and the shape that defines the property of the matter. And if a small angle changes, the property of the matter also changes, right? There's not much difference between a coal and a diamond that way. just a small difference in these angles and stuff like that, and the way they are organized and things. So how come they are so methodical? Who's directing? Who's actually creating? See this. Somebody says that Newton's law of gravity, but Newton didn't make that law of gravity. Newton just discovered that law, right? That law existed all along. Who made that law? Right? Why are these laws followed like that? Why sun is never late? Okay, who's directing? Who's making sure that things are on time? Things are working as they are expected to be, right? As I said, from graphite to diamond, just a molecular change, not much, right? So it's a very meticulous design. If you look at the macro world, right? We look at this satellite, and if you see, when scientists put a small satellite in the air, in the space, they have to do 24 hours of monitoring. They actually have to monitor so many parameters, right? Orientation, spin, velocity, heat dissipation, and whatnot. Okay, all of this has to be monitored methodically. Then only the satellite will be in the orbit, and even then things go wrong, right? I mean, that's what happened to our Indian whatever thing they sent. So the point is, and such a big room full of monitors, everybody is monitoring. I'm sure you must have seen it somewhere like this, right? But think about the Earth is like 6 into 10 to the power 21 metric tons. That huge. It's a really huge thing, and it is spinning across this thing called sun, right? And there are solar winds, there are so many other things happening, and the speed of this Earth is humongous. I mean, like, it's a humongous speed with which it is rotating, but nothing goes wrong. It is always precisely rotating across the sun, and we take it for granted. I mean, we just are able to explain it. Oh, the Earth is of this size, it is rotating like this, there is so many things, but nobody questions this, right? Why is that happening? Who's controlling? What's going on here, right? And see, this is the speed, kilometer per hour is the speed of Earth. Okay, so the point is, who's controlling, right? Not NASA, not a policeman, right? Who's that person who's controlling it? Even to control a car, you need a policeman. Small cars, but who's making sure? I don't know if you know, but the orbits of I think Neptune or Pluto, they actually cross each other. Okay, so they actually have orbits which are not concentric. So there is a huge chance that they should collide someday. And they have been rotating like this for millions of years, but they never collided. Who's controlling this? Who's making sure that they never collide, right? This is the question to be asked. I mean, it's not just like, okay, fine, just find out the facts, but also ask the reasoning for it. That reasoning, nobody answers us. Yeah, there are so marvelous designs, right? I mean, just look at this galaxy, our galaxy, or any galaxy. They're like wonderfully organized in some shape or the other, or the flowers, or all these fractals and things like that. Even our bones and everything, they're all organized in a very nice way. All these, who's making sure that they are so wonderfully designed? In fact, there are so many beautiful things. I mean, if you actually go to micro world or macro world, you will see very, very beautiful things. I was somewhere watching grasses. I mean, when they observed the grass through a microscope, and what they saw was like, there were smileys kind of faces out there in that grass. Okay, all these beautiful shapes. Who's making them? Who's doing it? Right? They're not for any reason. I mean, it doesn't happen for no reason. That is the point, right? So the point I'm making is, any design, even if small, needs a designer. Now, for these beautiful designs, who's designing them? It doesn't happen by chance, by the way. I mean, it could have been of any random shapes also, because as per scientists, it's all happening randomly. Then why they are so beautifully organized? I hope it makes sense. Any questions so far? Yes.
Guruji, I have a doubt here. Actually, I don't know whether it is related to this or not. Yeah. But when we go through our epics or something somewhere else, spiritual books, we find that there were Navagrahas. But recently, throughout the study, we got to know that the Pluto is not taken as a planet, and it is not considered as a planet. So they just said there were only 8 planets. So how can we support these points? Actually, we were based on Navagrahas now.
Okay. Do you know that they found another planet now? This is the latest one after they discarded Pluto. Okay. They found another planet. And they're calling it Planet X or something. They don't know much about it. If you want, I can share some details about it. I'm not trying to prove the point of Navgrahas because they are something else. But the point is, yes, if the 9 number fascinates you, they have found another planet. And okay, beyond Pluto. I can share details if you want.
Okay.
Yeah. That is there for sure. Okay. All right.
तो मतलब इतनी मिस्ट्रीज हैं, इतने रहस्य हैं कि अभी तक साइंटिस्ट भी हर चीज का पता नहीं कर सके हैं.
Correct. Scientists are people like us only. Correct. Yes, they are not special souls, right? So they are trying to figure out things by small steps, right? I mean, we have reached Moon. We are trying to reach Mars. We cannot imagine to reach another star, by the way. And there are billions of them, billions and billions of stars. This world is huge, and it is also microscope level. It is unexplored totally. So yes, I mean, and the problem with scientists is, as I said, right, they can find a mathematical formula, they can tell you the facts, but they cannot tell the purpose behind it. That is not what science can answer. The purpose can only be answered by spirituality. Science and spirituality are not two different things. Okay, science and spirituality both have been trying to find answers to at least 2 main questions. Okay, from where we came from and what is the purpose of this all. But the problem is people think that science is rational and spirituality is emotional thing. But spirituality is not like that. Both of them are based on assumptions. Okay, even science makes assumption, right? If you know, there is something called a square root of -1. That square root of -1 cannot be explained through. You cannot get the answer to it. But they say, no, trust us. This is called axiom. There is a third law of thermodynamics and things like that, for which just science tells us put faith. We cannot see electron, but put faith. Things like that, right? So similarly, spirituality also you have to put faith, and then you will be able to derive things. Both are built upon similar blocks. Yeah. So, but the problem is that people think that the spirituality is for emotional people. No, it's not. I mean, if understood well, it is for rational people only. And there were way intelligent people than what the current scientists are, who actually used to study these and apply them. Right? Yes, Aarti, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, so namaste. I just wanted to add to the point of that Pluto thing, that Pluto, basically, it is a planet. It is a dwarf planet, and it is not part of the solar system. That is about it. So there are only 8 planets in the solar system. So Pluto is a planet, but it is not considered a part of the solar system. Okay. And even the new planet that you spoke about, that was discovered recently, that is also a planet, but not part of the solar system. So I'm not too sure that what are the guidelines basis which I think it is a it is basically decided by humans only, the scientists, that what all planets will be part of the solar system. So don't think it has anything to do with this the spiritual world, or
yes, our solar system is way small than the overall universe that we see. And by the way scriptures describe it, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that this is just one single universe. Okay, now, it's not just one single universe here. There are millions and billions of universes around. This is how Srimad Bhagavatam explains. And also it explains that this entire creation is just 1/4 of the overall creation. And there is a 3/4 creation which is beyond this material world. Okay, and this material world means number of innumerous universes. And that 3/4 creation is huge, and it has God himself there and things like that. If you've ever heard of a term called Vaikuntha, so that Vaikuntha is 3/4 of this entire creation, and that is huge. But that's a topic for some time else. but correct. I mean, yeah, we are debating here planets and things, but this is a very small piece of the whole puzzle.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
So yeah, thank you. Thanks for this insight. So okay, if you have to do a cricket match in Mumbai or wherever, in Hyderabad or wherever it is, right? For day-night match, the amount of light, the power you'll need for a match would be huge, right? I mean, it's a huge amount of power is required. Now just think about this body called Sun. It is so huge that what 1.3 million Earths can fit into it. Okay, and the amount of energy that comes out of it is humongous. I mean, just to put the numbers to it, it is like this. Okay, the amount of energy that actually has been emitted by sun in 1 second is more than the total energy that the human race has actually consumed throughout the history. That much of energy comes out in 1 second. Okay, so it's like 5 lakh years that you need, right? All that 1 second energy is produced in that much. Okay, so the question is, if you actually seize a energy somewhere, the question that comes to your mind is, where is that energetic? If somebody breaks this TV, the question that should come to your mind is that, oh, who broke that TV? Who supplied that energy to the stone because of which that TV broke? Now, this whole huge amount of energy is coming out, but we don't question it, right? Who's supplying that energy? From where is this energy coming out? Now, you will say that, oh, no, it's a nuclear fusion reaction that is happening somewhere in the sun, right? Now, the point is that for nuclear fusion reaction to happen, you need to bombard the first neutron, and then only this reaction starts, right? Now, who bombarded that first neutron is the question then, right? If that is the question, it has to be. So the point I'm making is, for any energy to exist, any energy to come out, you need a energetic behind it, right? I mean, you have, I just think common sense. Have you ever seen somewhere around you that that energy is coming out of nowhere? You have always seen that somebody is giving the energy for it to happen, right? I mean, to kick a football, you need a person who will kick the football. For lift to go up and down, you need that electric energy to, somebody is operating and things like that. So it doesn't come out of nowhere, right? Why is it coming out of nowhere? That is the point. Are you convinced? Anybody who's not convinced, let me know. I'm intentionally not going too deep in science, but I can. The point is simple, right? People think that things are happening like that, but they are not. We have started taking things for granted because they are happening every day around us, right? The sun comes up every day in the morning, same time, goes down same time. We've stopped questioning this fact since generations. We thought this is normal, but is it normal? I don't know, right? Why the seasons changed, everything is so precise. Why is that happening, right? So any energy requires a energetic, and who's that energetic? Who's giving out so much energy, which is beyond our comprehension, right? And look at the world around you, okay? And anywhere you see, there are some laws, right? For example, the student will say, oh, my college will start at 9:30, so I have to reach there at 9:30. So who made that law, by the way? Anybody? That college has to start at 9:30?
The dean of the college. I mean, this is something that's been done by humans, right?
Correct. Yeah, but humans or whatever, right? Somebody made that law.
Correct.
The principal, dean, somebody,
Right?
And you have to, somebody in India, you have to drive in the left, and in the US, you have to drive in the right.
Right.
That is raw, right? Somebody made that law, so somebody has to do that also. So who did that? Maybe the traffic police did it, right? For the American or the Indian traffic police did it. So similarly, how many overs match will happen? 50 50 overs or 20 overs or whatever. Somebody made that rule, right? ICC or BCC or something like that. Now this is periodic table. I don't know if you have ever seen that. I hope you all have seen that. That is Mendeleev's periodic table, right? And they are basically organized. The elements are organized properly, and they all follow some laws. Okay, laws like if just move this side, it is a base. On the other side, it is an acid, and things like that, right? Who's making sure that having one extra electron, your property will change, and one less or one more, things will change completely. They are called periodic law. They are not periodic chance, right? So it's not happening by chance, right? Even if I have to do a small experiment like titration or something like that, we know that we do it 2-3 times and take the readings 2-3 times, because there is a chance of human error. Okay, but here it is all following like to the word. All of them are following that thing, right? And there are so many laws. And by the way, none of these laws are invented by humans. They are just discovered by humans, right? They just found out that this law exists. But and think about like the Newton law, gravity, all of that, right? The law of refraction, law of optics. There are so many of them. Thermodynamics laws. And in the micro world or macro world, everything is working precisely as if governed by a law, right? So the point I have is that who's making these laws? Why does sun comes every day in the morning, same time? Okay, who's doing that? Somebody has to control this, right? So in fact, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says, "Mad bhayat vati vatoyam suryastapati mad bhayat varshate indro dhati agni mrityushcharati mad bhayat." So what he says is that because of my supremacy, this whole wind blows. Okay, and because of me, the sun shines. Because of me, the showers come, and because of me, the rains come, and fire burns, and all of that, right? I mean, who's controlling it, by the way? Who's making sure that these laws are not violated otherwise? Who's that person? That question should be asked, basically. Why they are so precise? Some people found that there is a law, and they felt happy about it. People gave them Nobel prizes, and we started celebrating that we have found a law. But it is more than that. It is who made this law also should be questioned. Okay, does it make sense, right? I hope so far. You are with me? Anybody who's not, let me know. Okay, cool. All right, and we see so many people around us, right? There are beautiful people, there are ugly people, handsome, fat, thin, thick, all sort of things, right? There are rich people, and then there are poor people, educated and uneducated people. Who decides? Who decides that you will be educated and you will not be educated? You will be ugly and you will be poor. Who decides that? Right? You don't choose. We can choose only few things. We can choose our education. We can choose our job. We can choose maybe our husband and wife, or a car or a house, right? But we cannot choose our parents, for example, right? Who will be our parents? We cannot choose our face cuts, and we cannot choose our intelligence also. Then who chooses? And what is the basis? What is the law? Because so many things, everything we saw in this world is actually governed by a law. Then what is the law here? And what people say is that, it's by chance you have that parent, right? Now, if everything is working in this world by a law, then why these things are all also not following a law? It has to be fair, right? Because everything else is fair. It's as per a law. So that question pretty much nobody asks. Right? So it cannot be random, right? I mean, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that, it actually under the supervision of Supreme Lord, I mean, like the soul is awarded a body. I mean, you get that body based on some law. There is a law of karma, and based on which it happens. And it's a fair law. There is no confusion there. Okay, it can be repeatable. You can experience it. You can experience it right now also, immediately. It's possible to make you experience this. Okay. And based on that, all of these things happen. So nothing is happening by chance. I mean, if it is not, then why should this happen by chance, by the way? Any questions so far? I'll just pause so that I give a chance. Yes, please go ahead.
तो आई एम टोटली कन्विंस्ड कि हाँ भगवान है, देयर इज गॉड। तो भगवान ने ऐसा क्यों किया कि इंसान उनको भूल गए हैं, या फिर इंसानों को लाइक दे आर इग्नोरेंट, वी ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर वेरी इग्नोरेंट। वी कुछ लोगों को फेथ है बिकॉज यू नो बचपन से उनको सिखाया गया कि हाँ देयर इज गॉड, देयर इज गॉड। बट यू नो जैसे 2+2 is 4, तो ये भी खैर बताया ही गया है बचपन से। So I just meant कि लोग reason out क्यों नहीं करते? Why don't they look for God? Why don't they believe this thing with some evidence कि हाँ भगवान है? Why मतलब लोग ऐसे भूल क्यों, मतलब भगवान ने ऐसा क्यों किया कि मतलब इंसान भूल गए हैं कि हाँ।
Okay, as I explained you earlier also, and I can explain, I think as I promised you after the session we can talk about it. It is the desire. Okay. Because we wanted to enjoy. If you know that you are not an enjoyer, you will not be able to enjoy. Right? And so that you can enjoy peacefully, you are ignorance. This ignorance has been given to you as a blessing. Whatever we have is a blessing. This is what we should try to understand. You wanted to enjoy, so God said, go and enjoy. Yeah.
पर भगवान को जानते हुए, समझते हुए, लाइक सपोज मैं इग्नोरेंट नहीं हूँ, आई नो हाँ भगवान है। इफ आई हैड सीन हिम सपोज, तो इफ आई हैड नोन हिम, आई हैड सीन हिम फॉर एवर, फॉर ऑलवेज, तो मैं और ज्यादा नहीं एंजॉय करती क्या? मतलब क्या अगर आप इग्नोरेंट नहीं हैं तो क्या आप नहीं एंजॉय कर पाएंगे? दिस इज ओनली अबाउट गॉड। मतलब अगर आप भगवान को लेके इग्नोरेंट नहीं है तो इफ यू नो कि हाँ आई हैव सीन गॉड, आई हैव मेट हिम, आई नो हिम, तो क्या तब आप एंजॉय नहीं कर पाएंगे क्या अपने लिए? मतलब ऐसा सिस्टम क्यों बना है कि वी कैन नॉट सी गॉड, वी कांट, लाइक, आई होप यू गॉट माय क्वेश्चन.
I got the question and I know the answer. It's just that it will take some more time to explain. So in short, I'm just thinking of a shorter way to explain it. The point is, think of it like this. I mean, you know, if you have a small child and she sees you cooking every day, and one day she decides that I also want to cook. Okay, and then what you do is you give her a cooking set to play, right? And because she says, no, I want my own kitchen, I want my baby, I want to play house and things like that, right? And she will have two, three people, they're playing house, and they are cooking and things like that, right? She wants to enjoy separately from you. Okay. But after some time, and they will cook the food and they will try to eat and all sort of things, but they will not find pleasure in it, right? And that's what is going on right now with us. And then at one point, after they are enough, they are done, okay, they will come back to you, and the child will say that give me food, I am hungry, right? And then you will say, no, go ahead, cook your own house, why don't you go and cook for yourself? But she'll say, no, I want the real food. And that is what will satisfy the child. Okay, so that is what is okay.
तो भगवान ने कहा जाओ तुम लोग अपने कर्म कर लो, जब वहां से एकदम संतुष्ट हो जाना तब मेरे पास आना.
And God is eternal, we are eternal. There is no concept of time in the spiritual world. So even if you are taking millions of birth here, it doesn't matter. It is just a game going on. Okay, you are just playing a game. That's all, nothing else.
Okay.
I can quote verses, I can give scientific proof, whatever you want, but it will be a longer discussion. But that's why this allegorical way of explaining is what I'm doing here. Okay. All right. So let's any other questions, anyone? Cool. All right. So we go ahead. So yeah, nothing happens by chance. It has to be precise, right? So law of karma is there. It's all explained in scriptures. The point is, a flawless law requires a lawmaker. Who's that person who's making this law? That question should be asked. Now we have talked enough. Let's talk about what scientists have to say. Okay. So this is what Einstein said. The Lord God is subtle, but malicious he's not. He said, like, you know, oh, it's difficult to see him, but he's there and he's just and fair. This is what he's saying. Okay. This person he's also a famous person called Schrodinger, right? Schrodinger wave, if you've heard. He also says similar things, that it's actually good or bad. I mean, science sometimes pretend to answer questions in these domains, but the answers are very often so silly, right? So science is not able to answer the questions precisely, is what he's saying. And the God has made some laws. I mean, Lord Kelvin says, if you think strongly enough, you will be forced by science to believe in God. And he's Newton. I'll skip this story for the sake of time. But interesting one. He was a big theist. He used to believe in God. Similarly, Max Born and so many other scientists. I'll share these persons' quotes actually with you. But the point I'm trying to make is they all actually had faith in God, and they were like great scientists, all of them, right? So yeah, it is. Now somebody will say, no, only scientists cannot believe in God. But why not? I mean, scientists actually believe in God. A lot of them did. I mean, there are some scientists who believe, and there are some scientists who don't believe. So there are atheist scientists and there are theist scientists. Scientists are just people like us, right? But the problem, what happens is, we trust scientists as if they are God. Whatever they say, we trust. So if an atheist scientist tell you that no, God doesn't exist, we believe him. But we don't believe a theist scientist. So we need to keep our eye open. I mean, so much information keeps coming to us. We have to question all of that, learn to question it. All of us have passed our exams by cramming up the subject, but now the time is there to question it. Is it real or not? Now, this is a $2 million question that I have. Okay. And the question is, what is the origin of the universe? Maybe some people know the answer. Is it Big Bang or is it a chance? What do you think? Anukriti ji, you had some point to add.
इंटेलिजेंट डिजाइन, तब से आपने ये समझाया है तो यही समझ में आया.
नहीं, let's question Big Bang. Let's question that still. Okay, but yes, intelligent design is the thing, right? And the second question is, what is the purpose? No purpose?
To understand God in life.
Yeah, that is the point. Yeah, thanks, Atikesh. That's the right answer. Good. Okay, so yes, now let's talk about this Big Bang. So actually, just look at this complex machine, right? If I tell you that this came by chance and this machine has no purpose, what will you feel? You'll definitely say, no, come on, you are joking. Nothing so complex can come by chance, right? And any machine should have a purpose. How can it be purposeless? So anything, be it a small pen or needle or whatever it is, right? Everything is created by someone and it has a purpose. And this question we don't ask, right? What is the purpose for this universe? And who has created it? This question we have stopped asking. We just assume, and scientists tell us some theories and we think, oh, it is what it is. Now, this is what Big Bang theory says. Okay, with all due respect to the faith that we put into it, this is what it says, that everything began from a point of infinite temperature, infinite density, infinitesimal size, that is physically indescribable, mathematically unverifiable, beyond all conceptions of space and time. Okay, can you understand what it is trying to say? Does it make sense? Have you ever seen something which is of infinite temperature, infinite density, infinitesimal size, right? And it cannot be mathematically also verifiable and physically indescribable, right? So it actually, there is no science here. It is all as if people think, right? Oh, mythology, they say that some random things they talk about, right? So the same thing, if you think like that mythology doesn't make sense, do you think this makes sense to you? And this is what we put faith in. We think that the universe is started like this. Okay, and this is our all respected Big Bang theory, right? Just think logically, just think about it, question it. Have you ever seen? I mean, they cannot explain it. They say that we don't know. Okay, we have no idea, but just we are making a guess here. Something called as Big Bang theory. In fact, you'll be surprised that this is what Encyclopedia Britannica says about it. That it should be emphasized that no theory of the origin of solar system has as yet won general acceptance. All involve highly improbable assumptions. So what it says is that there is no single theory which is actually really accepted. We have been taught one theory in school and we think it is true, but that is not the case. In fact, if you read in the internet enough, you will realize that there are 11 theories of creation of universe which actually have some or the other scientists backing into it. Now the question arises is, why so much stress on the Big Bang theory? Because this tells you that there is no need for God. Okay, because God has not created it, just happened on its own like that. But it cannot be proved. There are a lot of loopholes into it. I mean, if you have time and if you are really interested, we can discuss this thing for hours. Yes, Aarti ji, you have your hand up, please.
Yeah, so I have a question here. I don't know if it's related to this or not, but so I totally believe in God.
Yeah.
Basically, I believe in the supreme power. So we name it God. We have actually named it God. So I think only humans have named it as God. But I totally believe in the supreme power. If we look at ourselves also, how our body system works, there are so many functions, reproduction, respiratory system, and there's so many digestive system. It is so systematic.
Yeah.
And actually a marvel in itself. So I totally agree with you and believe in God. But my question is that we have so many religions. Though we say that these religions are also, these division is also done by humans only in terms of religion, naming different religion. Christianity, they believe in Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So when you say that who is the maker here, when you say God is the maker, then who is that God?
Yeah, God has a name.
Will that be? So God is one, right?
Yes.
But then we have so many faces.
Yeah.
So Hindus promote their own religion and they say that this is the God. Christians, they would promote their own religion. But, so, of course, I mean, I totally agree here and believe in this supreme power.
Yeah.
But my question is that who is this maker?
Yes. So that person has a name, and that person actually has an address also, and a mother and father also. The point, okay, and yes, he's a real person. The point okay, I'll explain allegorically, okay, and we can discuss further also. So the think about it. If you actually ask a child who's in class 2, what is 1 plus 2? They will say 3, right? If you say and 2 minus 1, oh, it is 1. And what is 1 minus 2? You will say, oh, 1 minus 2 doesn't exist. Don't ask this question, right? There is no 1 minus 2. Okay, but the same child, when they are in 5th grade, maybe you will say 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Okay, after in the 10th grade or 11th grade, you will tell them integration and differentiation also. So these religions are actually organized like that. Different people have different level of understanding. Think about the people who are in the desert, who are actually, and all respect to all of them, by the way. Don't think that I'm trying to demean anything, right? What do you think their intellect level would be, right? They need to be given something which is of that level. You have to tell them, oh, do not marry your mother and sisters. You have to tell them, do not kill your neighbors and things like that, right? Now think about the people who are shepherds. Think about what level of religion can be given to them. Now think about Arjun, who's actually such a great king and things like that, right? And there Krishna tells him in Bhagavad Gita that whatever I'm telling you, whatever is there to be known, I'm telling you everything. So it is nothing wrong. Nobody has the wrong thing. Jesus Christ said, okay, I have so much to tell you, but you will not be able to bear it now. So depending on the level of people, the different revelations have been done. There is nothing wrong. God is one for sure, no doubt about it, right? God is the Father. This is what Jesus Christ says. Now, who's that Father is not explained. He just says there is a kingdom of God. Now, where is that kingdom? How God looks like? Not told, right? Because you'll not be able to understand, appreciate all of that. If you actually read Bhagavad Gita 13, 14 chapters, you will be blown away, okay? Because, oh, so much of details, so complicated descriptions and things like that. They have been given because people are able to appreciate it and understand it. So do not take what I'm explaining. Otherwise, the same thing applies even in one religion also. Like even within Hinduism, there are many scriptures, and they are also organized in some order. In fact, we will talk about all of this in next session, if you actually want to wait. And I'll be able to explain it in a more methodical way. Otherwise, it will go absurd. But
yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah. If you can hold on for this, I'll explain how these scriptures are, how they are organized, and things like that. In fact, why there are many religions, we have a specific session on that. Okay, so yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
But, thank you. All right. So this is the story of Big Bang. So is it Big Bang or is it Big Brain? The question should be asked. Okay. I will skip this activity for the sake of time, and we'll move ahead. Yeah. And by the way, of all the discussion, this is what Krishna has to say in Bhagavad Gita. Because we say, right, that, oh, we are not able to see the God, how can we trust him, and things like that. So this is what he says. He says, Matta parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. So he says, oh Arjun, everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a necklace. What does it mean, right? If you see a pearl, a necklace, then you see the pearls there, but you don't see a thread within that. But just by looking at the necklace, you can say that, oh, there is actually a thread which is binding all these pearls together, and that is why they are beautifully organized. And the same is the case here also. Okay, that we are able to see that organization, we are able to see that artistry, we are able to see that energy coming out, but we are not able to see that energetic. Okay, and the same thing, right? I mean, think about this world also, this country also. We see that things are organized, crime rate is less, and things are all that. We know that there is a government here, right? A person also, and the government is not faceless. There is a person called Narendra Modi who is running this government, but we are not able to see him, right? We are not able to see him because we are not qualified to see him, to go and meet him, hug him, and things like that. But that doesn't mean that Narendra Modi doesn't exist. There is a person, and then there is a faceless government. But whatever it is, which is organizing this, and the same question should be asked here also: who's organizing this whole thing? So correct. I mean, Aarti ji, I think you got the point. The point for this session was actually this much only, that there is a God. Okay. If that point is understood, it's okay. And we'll talk about who's that God, how to know about that God, how can we see that God, all of those in the subsequent session. And that we'll be talking about anyways, right?
This is such a beautiful verse.
Yeah, it's very
explained. Yeah.
Yes.
Such a simplified way it has been explained.
Yes. Yes. That is the beauty of scriptures, and also the beauty of person who actually explains it. Okay, and I'll talk about this particular point. I won't elaborate, but it is because of the great acharyas who have actually given us access to this knowledge in terms of explanation also. Otherwise, these lines, just reading them, you will not be able to appreciate them and connect them to this world. So that is the beauty of great acharyas, and we'll talk about this particular point. I'll elaborate in the next session. But anyways, yeah. So the next question which comes to mind is like, okay, all of this is good. What are we supposed to do now? I mean, if I have understood there is God, then what should I do? Because it's a frightening possibility, right? So essentially, one thing definitely we should do is that we should use our intelligence to appreciate the great creation of God. At least we should not take it for granted. We should be grateful about it. Okay, and if we are grateful, then only the love comes. Then only the next steps come, right? Spirituality is not about just taking a agarbatti and rotating it and things like that. It is about from your heart, it comes out, right? So at least we have to see that some person is actually taking care of you in such a wonderful way. Just think about it. In the summertime, there are fruits which come which are actually full of water, like watermelon and things like that. Such fruits which can give you, I mean, which can relax you during the summer time, right? Why does it happen? Or such beautiful flowers and so many things, right? The fruits that the food that is around us, those things have been provided to us somehow. They're not coming by chance. Yeah, so we have to, in fact, chance reminds me that there is also something called as chance theory. Let me tell about that also. So the chance theory tells is that this world came by chance, right? Now the question is that mathematically, if you have actually studied permutations and things like that, you would know that for anything to happen by chance, it has to have two properties. Okay, and anybody knows what are those properties, by the way, that have to be satisfied for a chance to exist actually? Okay. So okay, I'll tell you. So essentially, the two properties are that it should be repeatable and it should be observable. So you should be able to observe it, right? I mean, if you do a coin toss and you say that, oh, there is a 50% chance that the head will come and the 50% chance that the tail will come, then it means that, oh, I should be able to toss the coin maybe 500 times and then see how many times the head comes and how many times the tail comes. So it should be repeatable and it should be observable. The problem is that the creation of the universe is neither repeatable nor observable. So you cannot, even mathematically, you cannot call it coming by chance. So mathematically, it doesn't make sense saying that this world is coming by chance, by the way. Okay. So anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that if this world is created by an intelligent creator, then let's appreciate the creation that has been done and what we are getting out of it. In fact, whenever a new law is discovered, people should actually give some credit to God for that. I mean, you should actually glorify God. You should think that, oh, wow, such a wonderful law is that. Who created that? That question is never asked, right? And we should try and explain the purpose, and we should utilize things for the welfare. Anyways, the point is, okay, these summary slides, I will share that in the group. Yeah. So that gives us a couple of minutes free, and any questions which you think is doesn't make sense, we can talk about it. And that is the reason why I saved some time for question answer. There were some questions, I think somebody was asking in the group also, right? About soul. Is that person here? I don't know. There were some questions.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm there.
Yes,
this is Sangeeta. I was asking about the improvement of intelligence. How can we improve our intelligence so that we can control our mind?
Yeah.
And the other point I was asking that how does soul leave the body? Is there any message soul receive that now this is the time you need to come out, or forcefully someone comes and take it out? I don't know actually.
Yeah. So for the intelligence part, intelligence part, it is simple, because that intelligence actually can be strengthened by few things that I already mentioned, right? I mean, if the persons that you associate with, the books that you read, the movies that you watch, right, the friends that you keep and things like that, they have a lot of influence on us. So we have to be very careful on those things, right? So the simple formula is that, actually associate with people who are really of high intelligence, and then we will have a better intelligence. See, intelligence, as we explained last time, is about finding the difference between right and wrong. Now, if you associate with the right people, they will actually tell you what is right. And then you'll be able to figure out, see, if you associate with people who actually smoke and things, they will tell you, oh, smoking is okay, no problem, it's cool and things like that, right? But rather, if you associate with right people, they will tell you that no, there are harmful things that will happen and you should not smoke and things. And so next time you feel like smoking, you will know that this is the wrong thing to do. Similarly, we should read books. So studying scriptures, the right books, can improve our intelligence. And there is something called as controlling our senses. I mean, because all these things, the mind, the intelligence, they get drawn away because of our senses. Because your tongue wants to eat something wonderful, or whatever you call it, you will your intelligence will tell you how to steal money so that you can eat that particular food and things like that, right? So we have to be able to control our senses, and again that comes from studying the scriptures by regular practice. One more thing I mentioned about meditation, and meditation helps, but as I said, meditation I will explain in some of the session. I think just wait for 2-3 sessions and I'll explain about meditation specifically. But these are the things which actually improve our intelligence for sure. Coming to your second question about the soul, it is about the way it works is there's a law of karma, okay, and that decides a lot of things. In the sense, as I explained, right, what birth we will get, whether we will be poor or whether we will be rich, whether we will be intelligent or not, and things like that. All of that is controlled by law of karma, and even how much you will live is also controlled by that. Now there is a time that everybody has to leave this body, and then you are supposed to do that. There are now who comes to take you. It depends on who you are. If you are like a person who has done lot of sin, then probably there'll be some Yamdutas who will come and they'll drag you around and things like that, and they'll beat you and take you like that. This is what Garud Puran explains. In fact, in an average case also Yamdutas will come, and average to low case is explained in Garud Puran. But there are better cases also. Better cases, what kind of better cases can be? So that you will have Vishnu Dutas coming. You will have you'll not have any of these guys coming. The Yamdutas will not come, and people will come and take you with respect and things like that. So depends on what case you are. But yeah, somebody will come most likely, right? And this now you'll say, oh, what is the proof of this, right? Why am I saying something like this? It is not scientific. Somebody will come, take me, and things like that. So at least there are some proofs. In fact, there are some recorded things also. If you actually read enough near-death experiences, you will see such experiences, people narrating, and people who are not from Hinduism also. I mean, I'll just tell you one experience. Actually, there was a girl in UAE, I think, somewhere, and she was going with her, and she was grown-up girl. She was going somewhere, and there were some people who were distributing, selling some books of Srila Prabhupada. And in one of the books he wrote is called Life Beyond Death or something like that, where there was some Yamdutas drawn. And when that girl saw that picture, she started crying. She said, see, I actually had a near-death experience, and I saw the similar persons coming to me. And then I was told that, no, there is some more life left for you, so you go back and things. And this is what she told. And she was a Muslim girl. Okay. So this is what is a recorded event. So I'm just sharing that. But the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, if we trust scriptures, and why should we trust scriptures? We will talk about it in the next session. So far, if you don't feel like trusting scriptures, don't trust it. Next session, we'll specifically talk about why should we trust scriptures. Okay. And then we will talk from scriptures. That's why I'm avoiding, shying away from giving you a reference of scriptures, because, oh, why should I trust it, right? Yeah, any other question? Arti ji, you have your hand.
Yeah, I want to know that about law of karma. So are we going to have any session on that? Should I ask my question now only?
You can ask question now also. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm not very sure about the law of karma. Means what is good karma? Bad karma is, yeah, beating someone or doing something wrong with someone or not doing your dharma or duty. Maybe this is bad karma. But what about the good karma? I don't know much about it, because the whole time we are with family. So anyways, we know nowadays, since we are with family, so we are very good with family, right? With relatives, we are on call, and we are doing the office work also nowadays from work from home. So I don't feel like, the best, how can we do the best karmas just reading the books, the holy books, are doing duties, puja. Rather than that, what can we do that doing, for good karma?
Yeah. Okay.
We can't do now any much seva also, going out, helping people, are doing some seva in temple.
Right. Okay. So where to start? Because law of karma is a very big topic. Okay. In fact, what we can do is someday we will actually discuss law of karma in a very detailed way. Maybe for 2 hours we can discuss it. But just to answer your question, good karma and bad karma both are bad. Okay. Why they are bad? Because if you do good karma, you go to Swarga, and if you do bad karmas, you go to Narg. Right? Something like that. At least all the religions agree on that. I hope. The problem is that both Swarg and Narg are in this world only, and you come back again. From there, you get beatings or you get sweets or whatever, but you come back to this world again, and you keep on doing that again and again. The best thing recommended is that, don't do any karma. Okay, and that is called akarma. And if you do that, then you are pretty much not incurring any karma, and that is the only way to go out of this world. So our desire should be to not get stuck here, birth after birth, but to go out. And there are ways of doing it. Okay, and as I said, it's a long topic. I can explain it maybe in more detail. Let us talk about next session first. Okay, after next session, maybe I'll be able to explain this more, because I'll take help from scriptures, and then I can question that the scriptures are not right; they're mythology, right? So let's first understand what our scriptures really are, and why should I trust the scriptures, and then we'll talk from scriptures, right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Aarti ji, you have your hand raised.
Yeah. So, Nirendra ji, my question is that you just told that basis your karma, once your life ends, souls get the treatment accordingly, basically. Who comes to take you and all that stuff. So, is there a way to know which category we fall under? So
Yeah. It's easy to figure out. As I said, the first, the last category of the topmost people for whom the Vishnu Dutas will come, or like, a nice Viman will come with lot of these things, violence and all that, and they'll just take you with a lot of respect. We don't fall in that category, by the way. Okay, so that should be clear about. We so at least see it is easy to get out of this world, but if we actually know what is the right way of doing it. Okay, but the point is, it takes the path is easy, but to walk in that path is very difficult. God, at least as you can imagine, after this session, after all this talk, that there is a person at least, and that person really loves us. He's taking care of us even now here so wonderfully. All the intelligence that we have, the nice parents that we got, the nice education we got, the house and money and all of that is taken care by somebody. Now, so somebody loves us. But what is missing is what has to be figured out, right? From our side, if I tell you that today I am going to take you in that plane which goes directly to Vaikuntha, okay, tonight, are you ready to go? Right? I see. Right, that is the point. Okay, so that is the missing link here. Our desires. Okay, the entanglement that we have in this world, that is a problem. So the path is easy, as I said, right? Somebody is just waiting for you. But are we ready to leave our children and husbands and wives and house and cars and things like that? At least for some more time, we want to be here, right? So yeah, that's why we are here in this world. That is the reason.
So how can we, what is the way to know that, because this all sounds so good, so nice when you say that Vishnu Dutas are coming and all that.
Yeah.
So
so they come for people who are really into it, okay, who doesn't desire anything else. For them, this is the only thing. they just want that God only for them, exclusive. We call them pure devotees. Okay, a person who's like purely into it. There is no tinge of any desire left. Even if you ask a person who's dying, right, do you have a last wish? They will have something or the other, right? I want to eat this, I want to meet this person, at least talk to him and things like that, right? With those desires, you cannot go like this. You will always fall under average to below case, always. It is that simple. I mean, yes, Anukriti ji, you have.
Thank you, Nirendra.
Okay, so suppose I'm dying, and if somebody asks me what is your desire, and if I say नहीं मेरे पास कोई desire नहीं, I just want to meet God, तो क्या मेरे लिए विष्णु दूत आ जाएंगे?
हाँ, that is a good question, and yes, that is possible. Even that much is okay.
Really?
Really, yes.
Are you sure?
Krishna
Like I haven't
promises-
done anything.
Yes.
मतलब मैं कुछ भी
Yes.
नहीं कर रही हूँ, मतलब मैं कोई कर्म कांड पूजा पाठ I'm doing nothing. Okay, I understand. मतलब मैं कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा, मैं एक बहुत ही सामान्य इंसान हूँ, सामान्य
Yes.
सोल हूँ, और मैं मरते वक्त बोलूँ कि मैं एकदम मेरी सारी डिजायर्स फुलफिल हो चुकी है और अब मुझे दोबारा जन्म नहीं लेना और मुझे बस भगवान से मिलना है.
Yes.
मरते
So
वक्त
Krishna says-
या फिर आज
Krishna
ही
says-
से.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita this, Antakale cha mameva smaran mugdva kalevaram yat prayasi tamadbhavam. So yati nas yatra sansaya. He says in the last line, he says yati nas yatra sansaya. इसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. There is no doubt about it. Okay. And what is there which has no doubt about it? He says Antakale cha mameva smaran mugdva kalevaram. In the Antakal, in the last moment, okay, chamameva smaran mugdva kalevaram. It means that, oh, while leaving the body, that person thinks about me. Okay. And what will happen? He will attain me. Oh, you will say that this is so easy. Why cannot I do this, right? It sounds so magical. I mean, this is the promise made by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, by the way, as it is, the verse is like this. So it looks very magical. The problem is, there are a few problems in this. The problem number one is that you don't know when you are going to die. Okay. So because you keep on thinking about something or the other. What if I die right now, right? And I'm not thinking about Krishna, then how can I attain? That is number one problem. The second problem is that, okay, by the way, you know, suppose, somebody told you have this whatever problem and you are going to die tomorrow because of XYZ thing, right? The problem is that you would want to do as much as possible in this world, of this world, rather than thinking about Krishna, right? Oh, I want to meet that person, I want to eat this, I want to do this, something like that. The third problem is that if you are dying, there is going to be a lot of pain and things like that. Just think about it, right? If you go out and you hit a stone, what comes out of your mouth? Is it Krishna, God, Allah, Jesus? Is something like this comes out? What comes out, right? Think about it. Or you think about your mother or something like that, or you curse something, right? What comes out? So if even with a small stone hitting, you don't remember God, how can you imagine that you will be remembering when it will be so much of pain that you are about to die? Okay. This is only possible for a person who has been exclusively thinking about God day and night, all the time, right? It is not possible otherwise. Think about it logically. And that is why Krishna makes this promise, that if you think about me at the last moment, you will actually come to me.
तो मतलब जो बहुत पेन में होगा एंड में, वो मतलब ये बहुत मुश्किल है कि वो ऐसा सोच पाए ना कि मैं भगवान से मिलना चाहता हूँ.
Yes, logically think about it, right?
और ये मतलब जो, क्योंकि ये तो मैंने बहुत लोगों से सुना है, मतलब जितने भी बड़े बूढ़े लोग हैं, बुजुर्ग लोग हैं मेरी फैमिली में, और जिस फैमिली से अब मैं जुड़ी हूँ, मतलब मेरे ससुराल में, तो आई गेट टू नो कि वहां पे जब उनकी डेथ हो रही थी तो ही सेड कि अरे तुम्हारे पीछे कौन खड़ा है. तो मतलब इट इज अबाउट माय नाना जी, मतलब मेरे हस्बैंड के नाना जी, वो बहुत बड़े पंडित थे. तो उन्होंने बोला अरे तुम्हारे पीछे कौन खड़ा है अपने बेटे से. तो उन्होंने बोला कौन खड़ा है, कोई नहीं खड़ा है. वो समझ गए थे कि ओके कोई, मतलब इनको नहीं पता और अब मेरा अंत काल आ गया है. तो क्या ये मतलब पॉसिबल है कि आप जब देखते हैं आपके सामने कि आपको लोग लेने आए, नाउ यू आर अबाउट टू डाई, बिकॉज मैंने ऐसा सुना है कि लोगों को पता लग जाता है कि वो उनका अब अंत समय आ गया है और अब वो ये बॉडी छोड़ने का वक्त आ गया है, तो मतलब तब उस समय क्या हम ऐसे नहीं सोच सकते?
हाँ, आप सोच सकते हो, बट
हाँ?
क्या सोच पाते हैं लोग? मतलब दैट इज द पॉइंट. आई मीन, सी, थिंक अबाउट दोस पीपल आल्सो. हाउ मच आर दे एबल टू थिंक? They are able to understand. It is not easy. Just think logically. What will be the first thing which will come to your mind? Okay, I'm telling you, just think about a situation. Okay, any situation, right? When things are go bad in our house, in something, that is not the first thing which comes to our mind. If my child is not doing well, he is ill, he has problem, the first thing which will come to my mind is like how to save or what to do, right? It will not be God which comes to my mind, right? Same for
राइट. तो अगर सपोज मेरे साथ अब भी ऐसा हो जाए, मतलब जस्ट सपोज कि मेरे सामने यमदूत या विष्णुदूत जो भी आ जाए, तो मेरे दिमाग में पहली चीज आएगा, अरे अगर मैं मर गई तो मेरे बच्चे का क्या होगा? आई थिंक अबाउट माई डॉटर कि उसकी कौन केयर करेगा, क्योंकि इस समय मैं सबसे ज्यादा अटैच्ड अपने बच्चे से हूँ. फिर उसके बाद सेकंड आएगा कि मेरे हस्बैंड, चलो हस्बैंड एंड ऑल तो इज ओके फाइन, दिल मैनेज, बड़े हो चुके हैं, अडल्ट ऑब्वियसली, तो उसमें कोई वो नहीं है. पर सबसे पहले उसका ख्याल आता है जो आप पे डिपेंडेंट है पूरी तरह, दैट इज आपका बच्चा. तो मतलब सबसे पहले तो ये ख्याल आएगा. तो मतलब उस समय अगर मैं ये सोचूं कि कोई बात नहीं, मतलब 1 मिनट के लिए वो थॉट आया, पर मैंने उसको हटा के मैंने कहा बस बहुत हुआ, जिसका जो होना होगा हो जाएगा, भगवान रक्षा करेंगे, भगवान मुझे आप अपनी शरण में ले लो. सपोज मैं ऐसे सोचूं, तो क्या वाकई में मुझे भगवान अपनी शरण में ले?
हाँ, बिल्कुल, लेकिन आप सोच नहीं पाएंगे. दैट्स व्हाट माय पॉइंट इज. ठीक है, इट इज नॉट थ्योरी. That's what I'm trying to. The reason why I'm giving you so many examples is that it is not that easy. Okay, it can only happen by years and years or lifetimes and lifetimes of practice only. There is no other point.
इतना इजी होता तो सारे लोग को मोक्ष मिल चुका होता.
अगर मैं आपको बोलूं कि 2 घंटे आप बैठ के भगवान का नाम लीजिए, सिर्फ भगवान को याद करिए. Do not think about anything. Try it one day and try to think about God only for 2 hours. It is not easy.
Not possible.
Right?
Not possible.
Yeah, it is not.
फिलहाल तो नहीं है मेरे लिए.
Exactly. And the point is, what is being asked here is that any moment you can die because of an accident or whatever. You should be able to think. You should be thinking about God at that time. Not easy. Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, I think the point is that yes, it requires practice. That is, but that's one easy way to go out. Yeah, because you asked, so I'm telling you. That's one easy way to go out of this one. Okay. There are many ways. Yeah, Aarti ji, yeah, you had a question.
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One is, right now what we are talking about, one is when you say you think about God, what does that mean? What does that line mean that you think about God?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, how should we think about God? In what terms, and what should we do?
Yes.
What should go in our mind when we think about God?
Yeah, correct.
I want to understand.
If I ask you, like, think about your husband, what does it mean?
So basically, I would think about the memories or the time that we spent together.
Yes, and you think about that person also, right? You'll think about that person, how he looks like, what kind of things he did in the past, and things, the memory and stuff like that, right? Correct. Absolutely. Yes. If your husband has gone out somewhere and if you see his t-shirt hanging, right, will you not think about your husband, that his t-shirt which is hanging, right? So far what we have talked about is that see this world, and this is a way to think about God, that there's a person who actually created this world is his, right? This method to the madness is actually created by him, and things like that. Now, yes, the question remains the same, that okay, what about that person, right? What is he? Who is he? How can I get to know about him? If a God exists, I want to know more. Tell me more about him, so that I can think about him, her, whatever, whoever he, she is, right? So yes, there is a way to find out that also, and we will talk about that particular topic next time. Okay, on how do we find more about God, really, authentically, in a more scientific way. Okay. How can I find more? So exactly. So this session, of course, I wanted to bring it to the point that God exists, and now who's that God is what we will talk about next time.
Okay, and how to basically think. We have to set an image, right?
Yes. So
Everyone can set a different image for themselves. That if I choose this image of Krishna or Vishnu Bhagwan or any other god,
yes.
so I should just follow that image so that it is there in my mind. Because if I have multiple images, it will be very difficult for me.
Good point.
I'll keep moving from here.
Yes, in a normal temple, you see that so many of them, right? I mean, correct. Now, who's God actually? That's also a good question to ask, right?
No, even like if I say Vishnu Bhagwan, he also has so many avatars, and
yeah,
there are so many idols
made
differently of each god.
Yeah.
So I mean, of the same god. So if I talk about Vishnu, the same idol, Divya Swarup, you would see so many different versions of the same idol.
Right.
So we have to have only one image. Only then I think we will be able to focus.
You are right, actually. And think about it like this: Christians say that there is one God only. They don't have two gods, right? Muslims also have one God. So are Jews and others, right? This confusion happens in Hinduism. Okay, but there is no confusion in Sanatan Dharma, by the way. Okay, the point I'm making is, see, if you understand we have soul, and that's what we talked about last time, and if we have understood this time that there is God, right? So then there is one soul, and then there is one God, and the relationship between them, as we discussed, is eternal, and that is called Sanatan, right? So that is the eternal relationship. Now, what we have to find out is that who's that God? That should be the next question. And how can I find him? How can I see that God? Right? Can you show me God? And we will talk about that in the next session. How can we see God? How can we know more about him? How can we authentically say that, look, this person is God, and this is his name, and this is where he lives, and these are his mother and father, and this is what he does. We want to find that out authentically, right? In a way which is non-controversial. Right? Because if I tell somebody, no, this person is God, no, somebody will say, no, this is God. What is the proof? How can I believe you? Right. We'll talk about it next time. I think next time we'll just talk about the way to find God, by the way. And these sessions, the way they are is to go methodically, step by step, so that with faith and with rationality, we progress, and by the end of this whole thing, we actually reach to a conclusion. We actually reach a point where we are convinced about things. Okay. And
I have more questions, if you can take it right now. If time permits, can I share those with you?
Yes.
Okay. So one more thing, when we say that, I mean, all living organisms, if I understand it correctly, so even plants, I mean, during rebirths, basically, when there is a rebirth, it depends on the karma whether you'll be an animal or a human being.
Yeah.
So does it, I mean, also is relevant for plants and microorganisms also? They also take rebirth,
yes.
as in.
Yes, all of
So all living organisms, does it apply to all living organisms, including plants and microorganisms?
There is no difference between plant and us, by the way. We all have a soul. We all are soul. Okay, all of us are same that way. And we also can become a plant or a microbe or a whatever it is, and then also become humans, and also become devatas also, and also become Danavas also. Sure, Shivaliji. No issues. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Okay, and one more question here. So there's, I mean, there's so many species of plants, so many microorganisms, and I mean, trillions of human beings on Earth.
Yeah.
So are they all, what do you say, trapped in this rebirth thing?
Yes.
Are they all trapped? Are we all of us are trapped? There's so many.
Yes, all of us. there are innumerable souls. I mean, more than you can imagine. Like for example, in our body also there are so many bacteria, right? So this body is not hosted by one soul, by the way. In the place, like, you know, so dirty as a somewhere in a corner of a not so clean room or something, you will find fungus and things, right? All those fungus also have souls.
Correct.
Right. So there are more souls than we can imagine, really. All of them, innumerable souls. And then there are innumerable universes, and there are a huge amount of them. Correct. Yes, that's right.
So these, I mean, are there any new souls popping up, or these are only coming up again and again as rebirths?
All of them, see, there is no soul popping up. The soul, last time we talked about the soul session, and what we talked about is that the souls are eternal. By eternal, I mean they are not, there is no time then that they were born or something. Okay. They have always been there. Like God, who's always being there, the souls are always being there. So that's how it is. Some of the souls, and these are only a fraction of the souls, by the way. As per scriptures, there are much more than this. And all of them, they live in Vaikuntha, a place called spiritual world, happily with God. Okay. Some of them desired to enjoy, and they were sent here. And they are going through this birth after birth, in one universe and sometimes in another universe, in some species or the other. They keep on going around it like this till they want to go back, till they decide we want to go back.
This is all so vast, and we are, I mean, a miniature of...
Yes, that's what it is. I mean, this whole thing is amazing. I mean, in fact, I have not even described the material world so far. If someday we can, I mean, someday I can talk about from the light of scriptures how this world is actually looks like. Okay, it's a wonderful, beautiful, amazing thing, really. I mean, how this world was created and what will happen after this world is destroyed. Everything is explained, by the way, and logically in scriptures. Even how the spiritual world looks like, and there are many planets in the spiritual world also, and how do they look like and things like that. All that is also explained in our scriptures. Yeah, it's a very beautiful thing. Correct. And yes, you're right. I get your feeling that yes, we are all trapped here, birth after birth after birth. Yes, there is no other way to go. There is pretty much not by taking an aeroplane also you can go out of this universe. We are not able to even reach till Mars, right? What to talk about another star or a galaxy or a universe? Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you, Narendra ji.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Hope you found it useful. Yes. I mean, so we'll be going methodically session after session, but the point is, I will hopefully be able to answer all your questions by the end of this Discover Yourself course. And if more remains, I'm happy to answer more. In fact, this spirituality is very huge, and it is beautiful if it is discussed like this. It is not so beautiful if it is like, you know, it's a one-way communication, or that some person is just telling you mumbo jumbo, and you know it is not making sense to you. It is not so beautiful. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yep. Shailendra, you have had some question, right?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I want to ask one thing. Like अभी आपने बोला कि अगर आपको स्वर्ग जाना है, तो मतलब आपने नहीं बोला, मतलब कि जैसे हम जानते हैं कि अगर स्वर्ग जाना है तो we have to do some good deeds, अच्छे कर्म करने पड़ेंगे, और नरक जाना है तो बुरे काम करने के लिए जरूरत ही नहीं है, ठीक है? तो अब ये है कि आपने बोला कि अगर आपको ब्रह्मांड, मतलब कि आपको प्रभु के चरणों में जाना है तो आपको दोनों ही नहीं करना है, आपको अकर्म करना है, ठीक है?
Yes.
तो ये अकर्म मतलब ये क्या चीज है? अगर मैं मान लेता हूँ कि देखिए, अब हम इस दुनिया में रह रहे हैं तो हमसे कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा, चाहे अच्छा होगा चाहे बुरा होगा. अब हम ट्राई करेंगे अच्छा करने का, ठीक है? क्योंकि हमें बाहर जाना है, बाहर 4 तरह के लोग मिलेंगे. मान लो कोई बच्चा है छोटा, कोई भिखारी मिल गया तो मेरे से मदद मांगेगा, मैं उसको करूंगा तो वो मेरे कर्म में जुड़ गया, ठीक है? तो फिर तो मैं कभी जा ही नहीं पाऊंगा, क्योंकि मैंने एक कर्म कर दिया. अब उसको या तो मैं न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए कुछ गंदा काम करूं तो बराबर
नहीं होता, बराबर नहीं होता, बुरा और
अच्छा वो बराबर नहीं है, ठीक है? जी. मतलब कि आप मुझे ये बताइए कि अगर मेरे की गलती से कुछ अच्छा काम ही हो गया तो मैं तो अब अटक गया ना, मेरे लिए मतलब कि मेरे लिए पाप है, मेरी गलती हो गई. अगर आप कह रहे हो कि आपको कुछ नहीं करना, तो मतलब या तो घर के अंदर बैठ जाऊं और कहीं ना जाऊं, फिर मैं क्या करूं? मतलब करना क्या है मुझे?
उसे भी कर्म कहते हैं. आप घर पे अगर सो जाएंगे ना, इवन इफ यू आर स्लीपिंग और समथिंग, यू विल से कि अरे आई विल नॉट डू एनीथिंग, even that classifies as a karma. Okay.
Then sir, finally, if we got like this human being body, then we never live this body, right? कि अगर आप घर में भी रह रहे तो मतलब आपने कहा कि मैं कर्म कर रहा हूँ, तो मतलब कि अब मैं प्रभु के चरणों में नहीं जा पाऊंगा, इधर मुझे स्वर्ग ही जाना पड़ेगा या नरक ही जाना पड़ेगा, मैं अब यहाँ से
I will tell you, I'll explain you something. I can tell you the exact prescription also, but I will give you, I'll try to explain what this akarma means.
जी जी.
See, so so think about it like this. See, if I ask you कि आप ऐसा करो कि मतलब you come to my okay, you do your job, right, and never expect a pay. Without a payment, you do your job, right? See, because what you are doing is you are doing your job and you are expecting a payment. Because you are expecting a payment and a hike, right? Either that you will get a hike or you will not get a hike, right? Either you will be frustrated or you will be happy. So you are actually doing your job because you want a promotion, because you want a hike, because of all of this. And so because of this, you are stuck in the current job. Okay. And you're not able to leave your job also. Right. So if you were in the position where you are doing something not for a payment. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the point is like not you are doing it not for any money. You are just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Okay.
So then
ऐसा क्या है कि जो मैं ऐसा काम करूं जो just sake of it. अगर मेरे पास बीवी बच्चे हैं तो I have to feed them. Okay. For them I need to earn. अगर मैं मान लेता हूँ चलो मैंने बीवी बच्चों को त्याग कर दिया, मैं घर निकल गया छोड़ के, तो मेरे को जब पैदा हुआ तो मेरे को भगवान ने कुछ तो बोला था कि मुझे जाके मुझे कुछ कर्म है जो ह्यूमन बॉडी को मतलब कि जो अपनी जीवन में मैं अगर पैदा हूँ तो मुझे कुछ
I'm not telling you कि आप साधु बाबा बन जाओ. Okay, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not asking you to stop everything, go to Himalayas, take sannyas or whatever. Even that will be some karma. Okay, all I'm saying is that sitting in this world, being in this life with your wife and children, what you can do is you can what you can do is you can actually do everything for God. For example, when you cook, don't cook with the feeling that it is for my enjoyment. Cook with a feeling that, oh, that person actually who did so many great things for me, like whatever we have studied today, right? I am going to cook for him, whatever he likes, and I will offer it to him. Okay. If you know, in the past, couple of generations back, our forefathers used to cook and offer. भगवान को नैवेद्य लगाते थे, भोग लगाते थे, और after that only they used to eat prasad. Right? I don't know if you have heard it or not, but if you do that as per scriptures, you are essentially what you are doing is that you are just eating what is being offered to God, and it was cooked for God. Okay. And now this simple example. Now, what has happened is whatever you did, but you did it for God because you had genuine desire to only cook it for God. And what you eat was the prasad and not the food. Okay. So there is no karma into this. It is actually out of this karma. Neither good nor bad. Everything is for God.
तो प्रभु जी अगर मुझे मान के चलिए आप जो कह रहे हैं कि प्रभु के लिए मैं करूं, तो मेरे को उसको करने के लिए कुछ तो मेरे को करना पड़ेगा, राइट? अब मैं अगर कुछ करूंगा तो जरूर आपके मन में कुछ तो आएगा कि यार मेरे को और अच्छा करना है, मुझे और पाना है, तो मतलब वो चीज तो आप नहीं छोड़ पाएंगे अपने अंदर से, राइट? ये अल्टरनेटिव थॉट तो जनरेट होगा ही, राइट?
Okay, नहीं, not necessarily. See, okay, if you are doing it like okay, whatever happens, if I am doing it for God, whatever job I am doing, if you actually do it for God only, right? Then whether you get high or you don't get high, it doesn't matter. Whatever I will get out of it, I will actually use it for God only, because I will cook for God and I will serve God. If everything completely is for Him, then there is no karma. But that place is not easy to reach. It requires practice. You cannot reach there in one shot. Okay. But this is called a karma. Technically, this is called a karma. If you actually,
प्रभु जी फिर ऐसा तो कभी आ ही नहीं पाए. मुझे नहीं लगता कि ब्रह्मांड में फिर ऐसा कोई मनुष्य होगा जो इस लेवल पे पहुंच जाए. अगर वो ग्रस्त है, तो अगर वो साधु है कि मेरा बेटा हो गया, अब मैंने कुछ सिखा दिया कि बेटा तेरे को शादी नहीं करनी है, तेरे को सिर्फ और सिर्फ यही काम करना है, सिर्फ प्रभु का नाम लेना है,
ऐसा नहीं है.
अब लाइफ में कुछ नहीं है, इतना कैपेबल नहीं हो.
No. I'll tell you one thing. It is possible. This particular thing is very, very possible to achieve. There are many forms of yogas, and this is called Karma Yoga. Okay, and Karma Yoga, the best way to do it is called Buddhi Yoga. Okay, and this is definitely possible to achieve. It requires some practice and a guidance, but it is possible to achieve it. Okay, some of them are difficult. This is not so difficult. If given right guidance, you can reach there. But this is not the best way and not the easiest way. There are easier way than this. I'm telling you. Okay. There is.
तो प्रभु जी आप आगे चल के ये जो आपने बोला कि अकर्म के बारे में आप बताएंगे रहे. Maybe I will come to know that.
So don't worry. We are here together into it for years to come. Right? I have so much to tell you that I can keep talking for 10 years also. Okay, don't worry about it. And people who know me, they know that I can talk for hours and hours together without stop.
But प्रभु जी एक और मुझे क्वेश्चन था कि जैसे अभी आपसे अभी बात हो रही थी तो कुछ ने पूछा कि अगर मैं जैसे मरने लगा तो मुझे भगवान आएंगे, राइट? अगर मैंने लास्ट टाइम पे मैंने भगवान को याद किया तो मेरे को विष्णु गण आएंगे, विष्णु गण शायद. तो डू वी हैव एनी एविडेंस ऑफ दिस कि हाँ ऐसा हुआ है कि हाँ जब मैं अभी आपने बोला कि कोई मर रहा था, आपके पास ऐसा कुछ रिकॉर्डिंग है, मुस्लिम लेडी और पीछे यम खड़े थे, ठीक है? अब यम तो वो गण नहीं थे, विष्णु गण तो नहीं होंगे. विष्णु गण होगा तो कोई भगवान की तरह सोना माला पहने खड़ा होगा मेरे सामने, तो जैसा मैं मानता हूँ. तो अगर ऐसा कुछ हमारे पास एविडेंस है क्या कि हाँ कोई ऐसा इंसान, कोई ऐसा प्रभु, बहुत ही महान आदमी मर रहा था और उसने लास्ट टाइम पे भगवान को याद किया और वो कुछ पिक्चर हमने कैप्चर कर लिया कि हाँ सामने वो देखिए भगवान खड़े हैं और ये मूर्ति भगवान की माला है.
Of course. So do you have you heard about Sant Tukaram ever? Tukaram Maharaj.
नाम तो सुना है but no, I don't know that much.
पुणे के पास there is a place called Pandharpur. Okay, a small village. Okay, that is where this person used to live. And of course, we'll not go into the complete story of this person. But one thing I can tell you, this person on Ekadashi, the Viman came, and it was so huge that all the trees were shaking and things like that. Okay, I don't want to tell you a fairy tale, but the point I'm making is that he with his body he sit into that Viman and he went away. And this is not a very old story. It is like few hundred years old. And the point is that the villagers tell that on the Ekadashi, the same Ekadashi every year, all the trees shake in that region, all of them, and it can be observed right now. And this thing was also seen by people of the village, and it is a recorded evidence in their Marathi, in their Abhangas. They have recorded these incidents. Okay.
तो प्रभु जी इसका क्या कोई केस स्टडी है क्या कि बंदे ने क्या अच्छा कर्म किया था और क्या बुरा काम किया था, क्या मतलब उसने क्या कर्म किया था जिसकी वजह से वो ऊपर वहां पे जा पाया?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I will be explaining all of this. ठीक है? Okay. Do not worry. Have faith. I will be explaining all of this. There is no अभी इतना छोटा गोली नहीं है कि I can just tell you और गोली खा लो, right? I will explain all of this. Give me time, because if I try to give you that गोली ना, तो then you will not be able to follow it. That is the problem. मैं आपको बता दूंगा तो आप खा नहीं पाओगे रात को. So that is the problem. Right? So have faith.
धन्यवाद.
In the first standard, we just tell that 2 + 1 is there, 2 - 1 is there, 1 - 2 is not there. You'll come to a place where I will tell you about 1 - 2. I will tell you about integration, differentiation, and all of that.
Okay.
So have faith and give me time to do that. Yes, I see a lot of hands actually. Yes, where to start?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sangeeta ji, I think I'll just go with the order.
Yeah, Prabhuji, the same thing what the person was discussing, that dedicate your day to Krishna, the work, and then you leave everything, right?
Yeah.
So
No, leave everything. You don't have to leave anything. See, I work with Microsoft. I have a car, I have a house, I have money and things like that. You don't have to leave anything. And I have been practicing spirituality for years under a guidance, and I have not been misguided so far. Okay. So the point I'm saying is you don't need to leave anything. That is not the point. That is a misconception. What we have to do is we have to mold our life. See, there used to be brahmacharis, grahasthas, vanprastha, and sannyas in the past. Right. What we forgot what they mean. We forgot what varnashram is. Okay, and which one ashram you are in and how you are supposed to behave. We have forgot all of that. Okay, there is a right way of living life in harmony with the God, and our past forefathers used to know about it. At that time, they used to keep God at the center, no matter what, no matter what, right? Whether there is a new crop coming up, they will celebrate some festival. If you are doing somebody's marriage, if somebody is born, or whatever is happening in the house, right? They used to keep God at the center all the time. So the point is that we have to learn to keep God at the center. If you're able to do it, then all these promises can be met. You will always be thinking about God. When you die, you will actually be thinking about Him, right? You will always be doing something for God only. So all these akarmas will happen automatically. All the perfection of yoga is somewhere there. Okay, on being able to bring God at the center instead of somewhere in the kitchen in a corner hidden, some couple of murtis are kept, right? That is not what what it is all about. It is about bringing it live. It requires some practice, and it's an advanced topic. In fact, as I promised, give me time. I will explain this further so that it doesn't sound like a, oh man, I cannot do all of this. I mean, this sounds too much. No, I'm not expecting you to do anything right now. All right now, I'm expecting you to understand that there is a God. That's all.
Yeah, so what has happened, leave, when I say leave on everything only means, the outcome of your work,
Yeah.
because when we work, we always expect recognition.
Yeah.
We expect height. We expect great rating if we are working accordingly. And if we are dedicating everything to God and we are not getting it,
So I'll tell you
so,
something. Okay, I'll tell you something. Okay, this is the problem. I mean, we think that we are able to control things, but you're not able to, right? Whether you will get a hike in the salary this time or whether you will not get a hike is not in your control. Whether you will have a boy or a girl as a baby is not in your control, right? Whether tomorrow you will leave or not is not in your control. In fact, nothing is in your control. Okay, we can generalize it to that level. Whether you will get food tonight or not is also not in your control. Okay, anything can happen. So the point to understand, it is just a illusion. It is just a controlling mentality tells us that, oh, I am able to control this, but no, you are not. So it is all about having this knowledge that anyways I am not in control. Okay, it is anyways the fruits of the work anyways are not controlled by me, and they are not owned by me also. Okay, and they belong to God only. It is just that realization. Whether you realize it or you don't, it doesn't matter. They are not yours anyways. Have you not heard about people who actually spent their entire life trying to earn money, and at the end of their life, they were not able to utilize it at all, right? There are so many people. I would say most of the people, right? So why are we doing all of this? See, that is the problem. We have been told since our childhood that go earn money and that is it, right? And you will be happy. But we know, I mean, like, we are grown ups. We know that money is not giving us happiness. We are not happy because of more money. But still, we don't know anything else. So we are just trying like a horse or a camel. We are just running after money. That's all we are doing. But the happiness doesn't exist there. It's like a mirage. That's all what I would say, right? So it's not about you have to do something special. It is all about that you have to understand the reality of this world. Does it make sense?
yeah, it is definitely. Sometimes I got confused when things happens and we dedicate everything to our Lord, and it is sometimes it is very much happening in accordingly the way you expect. Sometimes it turn all 360 degrees. So we always think like we have given our effort 100% and it is already dedicated to Lord. And sometimes it works 100%, sometimes it turns to 360. And many things we have to take sometimes hard decisions also, and when we are taking the hard decisions, we are feeling like it is not a good karma.
Yeah.
No,
so my suggestion is that let's hold on to the karma discussion and this yoga discussion on how to achieve God and things like that. They are really advanced topic. Okay, I will reach there. Give me some time. We will reach there. It is if I try to give you a medicine, you will not be able to swallow it. As I say, if I tell you a prescription, all of that will sound very big thing. Okay, there are so many forms of yoga, and all of them can actually take you somewhere or the other beyond this world. Okay, which is the right one, which is wrong, even that is a big discussion. All the spiritualists keep talking about them, like lot of debates and theory around them, lot of discussions. So we go methodically, and my point here is that, see, unless we understand it rationally, what is the right path, you cannot follow that path, right? So we have to discuss, debate, and understand that. So we'll go methodically. Give me some time. Okay, you have waited for so many lives here, so wait for a few more sessions, right? And we'll answer this. Okay, yeah, anybody? Sure. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't rush into this karma discussion because it'll go all over the place. Okay, Aarti ji, you had something, you wanted to add a point also. Sorry, your voice is breaking.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Now is it fine?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so this is in regards to the same point that Shailendra ji was making. I just wanted to check with you that, do you mean that we need to, there's a trust factor that we do what we are supposed to do and we should just leave everything, that okay, God will take care of, God will take care, basically.
No, it's more than that. No, it's
okay, there's one more thing that I wanted to share here, because I actually experienced with my son. So he actually performed a skit. Okay. And he was Dhruv Maharaj for ISKCON. So he himself was Dhruv. So, I mean, he got so much influenced by Dhruv that he started saying that if I stop eating, then God will definitely come and he would protect me.
Okay.
He wouldn't let me die. So he got so much overwhelmed by that entire story. So it actually took me a month and a half to get him out of that.
Got it.
To make him understand, but I myself don't understand, so I don't know. So I actually directed him to one of my cousins who is very spiritual. So he started meditating and all that stuff. But then my son lost interest and he came out of it because he couldn't meditate and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's a wonderful story. Actually, yeah. There is a sannyasi.
He couldn't meditate. I mean, he could not get that connect.
Yeah.
I thought that it is the right time for him to start, but he could not get the connect.
Yes. So we do conduct actually kids program also. If you are interested, we can connect him. But the point, so it's an interesting thing. In fact, but everybody, all of us, as I explained earlier, are souls and actually have some connection with God. It's just that it is not apparent from the top. And if given right amount of, and this education is required for us. I mean, for all of us, this education is very much required to understand who's God and all. The same thing happened to one of the sannyasis in ISKCON. He's like a very old person. Just sharing this. And he saw a movie of Dhruv Maharaj when he was 5-6 years old. Okay. And when he saw that movie, he ran away from his house in jungle, okay, to meditate. And then their parents caught him. He brought him back. And this happened for years and years. Multiple times he did it. Finally, he said, oh, no, enough. I mean, I'm really into it. Okay. And he left his house after he grew up. But the point I'm saying is, yes, I mean, there's nothing wrong in this thing. It's an interesting thing. Yes. And Dhruv it's a nice story to know and follow. But good to know that. Yeah. Okay. Yes, but children is the right age, as you're saying, right? Because as we grow up, this thing becomes more complicated. Our mind becomes more complicated, and we are not able to understand these things. We question a lot because a lot of weird theories have been gone into our head by then. So you have to be really lucky to be able to get some good things when you are early in your childhood, and that is the responsibility of us as a parents. And in fact, we can only do that responsibilities if we ourselves understand the answer. If we don't know the answer, what answer can we give to our children, right? If they ask who made the world, the only thing we can say is Big Bang or something like that, right? Because
no.
yeah, no, because we ourselves are not fully convinced, and this course is also about that, so that we ourselves get convinced, right? And we are able to answer it methodically. And by the way, like this course is not the end of the world. There is, like, we can go into the study of scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures after this course, so that and there is a lot to learn. I can tell you, there is so much to learn that maybe that our entire life we can keep learning. And there is a fascinating world around us that we have no idea about. Okay, and you'll be able to see things which are magical, which doesn't make sense through normal senses also. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, but yeah, we as a parents definitely need to know, so that we can teach our child.
Correct. So that we can pass on to them.
Correct. Yeah. So these are the things to answer, right? If somebody says that, oh, by Darwin theory this thing happened, we came from monkey, or this world came from Big Bang. Okay, it's good to pass exams, but at least they should know the right and the wrong thing. That this we are doing just to pass our exams, but this is not the only truth. The truth is somewhere else, right?
Yeah, our roots basically.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And that this is the whole effort. I mean, the reason why I'm doing this is so that people become aware of it. There's nothing else expected here, by the way. Yeah, I live, I think, in the same area where you are.
Definitely enlightening session. Thank you so much for keeping this.
Sure. In fact, we do it in person also. Like, for people who are in Hyderabad, in Nalagandla area, I mean, we usually used to do it in person pre-COVID. I mean, like, once the COVID subsides, we'll probably we'll do it. But let's see whenever it happens. Yeah, I see more hands. I think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, but the one thing to understand at least is that, see, make sure that your continuity doesn't break. I mean, if you really want to take value from this, try to make to the sessions, so that you'll be able to connect the dots and you'll be able to understand it methodically. Breaking
the previous sessions because I was not aware of it. Megha Shukla, she actually connected me to this, and my son attends her sessions regularly. Every week.
But are you from Hyderabad only, right? Nalagandla?
Yeah, Nalagandla itself, yes.
Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, please keep joining. I think previous recordings, if you want, I can tell you. But they may or may not make sense completely. But yeah, the next ones are also more fascinating. As we go further, it will become more and more interesting. Anyways.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, please keep joining. Anyways, yeah, Anukriti, you had some questions? I see more hands up still.
Hanji. Okay. So my question is, like you said कि हम offer करें भगवान को. You gave that example.
Yes.
So मेरा सवाल भी यही है कि अगर मतलब offer and all नहीं करता है कोई, लेकिन अपनी हर activity में मैं भगवान को याद करती हूँ. Suppose मैं कुछ भी कर रही हूँ. Right now, even if I'm talking to you, या मैं किसी अपने फ्रेंड से भी फोन पे बात कर रही हूँ, उसमें भी 10 बार अगर मैं भगवान को याद करती हूँ मन में, so does that work?
No. Is that 10 times enough? We think कि हमने 10 बार याद किया तो.
I just meant in like if I think of God in finite times, पूरे दिन भर में भगवान के बारे में मैं अपनी हर एक्टिविटी में अगर मैं उनके बारे में
अगर आप ऐसा कर सकते हैं, if you are able to do it in reality, then it's okay. But are we able to do it in reality? I mean, think about it, right? You'll get bored. I mean, we don't have that taste yet to be able to only do that. Like, practically think about it. I'm not making it up, right? Yeah. Thanks, Swati. Yeah. So basically, are we able to do it? And that's why I'm saying, like, as we move further, we will talk about all these yogas, and we will try to understand what is the simple thing to do. Okay, what is the practical thing to do? How can you practically do this thing? Okay. Really, spirituality is not about just doing a agarbatti and things like that, and that's it, and feeling that that is enough. No, it is not enough. Okay, because we don't have any understanding. There is no basis. It is not coming from our heart. If the same thing comes from our heart, that is good enough. So first we have to understand that there is a real person who really loves us. Right? And now we'll figure out who's that person. How can we find out about him? And then that agarbatti will also do the trick. But you need to understand what is this all about. And people knew in the past. It is just that it is not passed on to us properly. That's all. And that's the only gap that I'm trying to bridge here. Nothing else, right? But there is so in the past also people had children. They used to live a normal life. They had everything, right? If you actually read scriptures, you will realize that lot of people who actually had families, they were able to achieve a very, very high level. Okay, they actually achieved while doing their normal life without doing anything special. Okay, it is just that training which is missing from us now. We forgot about it. That's the only thing. Okay, and we think that going to Himalaya is the only way. No, it's not.
So the point I was trying to make is, I mean, thinking about God is enough. Is it enough? Like if you're thinking about God,
you will.
Thinking.
I'm saying you will not be able to do it artificially. Try doing that.
मतलब सोचना ही है पर वो उसके लिए बहुत.
What do you want to think? I mean, like, what will you do? I mean, just think about it. It is not enough. I mean, there are methodical ways. There are different yogas prescribed, right? And this particular thing that you are saying, always thinking about God, is a very, very high level. Okay, very, very high level. Okay, and it is not easy for extremely great souls also to do it. Okay, so you will not be able to do it. Now you cannot. It requires enough practice to be able to reach there. That's why I'm saying let's not mix up things. Forget whatever you have learned so far. Okay, come with a clean slate. I promise that by the time, I mean, if you keep coming for a year or so or two, you will know much more than many spiritualists also. If you are curious and if you ask questions and want to learn, you will know much more than many people who actually come on TV and give a session also. Okay, you'll be able to give them logic and scriptures to defeat them. Even that will happen, and I promise that. Okay, I'm not wasting my time here, by the way, just like that. Okay, yeah, just go methodically. Forget about whatever you have learned, and we'll talk about. I'm not here just to give you this mumbo jumbo about Darwin theory and brevis latis. We will talk about scriptures. Okay. Yeah, just hold on. Yeah, Sangeeta, do you have any follow-up question or anything? Okay, I know it's been quite late. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm happy to talk. Yeah. Sangeeta ji, any questions?
No, not as of now. But I have many things now to think, so I may come back on your group.
Yeah, please come back. In fact, see, our religion is supposed to be a question-answer thing. That is the way to learn. Okay, it should never be a one-way communication. We have been misled by people. So please ask questions. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions from anyone? Sure, Sharanji. Definitely. Yeah. No issues. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we are done here. Thanks everyone for joining, and please plan to join next time. It's going to be more and more interesting as